Okay, so I am not the kind of art teacher that likes everything covered with a Sharpie, but I have heard a lot of art teachers tell me that sometimes it's easier for students to paint on top of their drawings when they can see a black line. So if you have a Sharpie at home and you want to go over your pencil lines with the Sharpie, that is fine. It's not something that I am a fan of, though. I feel like the black line is very dominating to the drawing, and I think that sometimes it takes away from the nice pencil lines that are created. So if you want to go over it with a black marker, you can use a Sharpie, because when you do add the watercolor, it will cause the marker to bleed a little bit. I'm going to see how it does with the rest of them being outlined with a Crazy Art marker. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I kind of think it's actually a good thing if the marker bleeds just a little bit. I realize that's not something we want to happen in other art projects when we're using markers, but let's try this. So I am outlining my road with the brown, and I'm making sure that I'm not going through parts of my drawing where I have overlapping going on. So for example, this cactus right here that overlaps with the road, I'm making sure that I'm not going through it, but instead I'm going around it. I'm not coloring it in, I'm just going around it with an outline. Now, I think that I want the sun setting, and that means I'm creating a soft mood by giving a cool tint to the majority of the objects in my landscape, my desert landscape. I'm not coloring anything in because I want the watercolor to do that. So let's see how this goes. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this in pencil, and I'm going to switch to a green marker for my cacti. Okay, so I'm gonna try this background. I'm going to do in a darker green like that. That was in the background. And I had a lot of overlapping going on. Looks pretty good. I'm going to outline these with a different green. I'm just curious. Now this one is going behind the black line cactus. completely forgot that I had this extra arm up here on this cactus. So it looks a little awkward, but we'll roll with it, see how it goes. All right, this one in front, I'm going to give this one the bright green. It might not be suitable. We'll find out. You know what? I think I might do that one with a purple, more of a purple tint going on. I think I will outline the snake so I don't lose it by accident. And this is just a little brown desert snake. I wasn't really going for any particular type. Now you have to slow down because you have to pay attention to where you have your lines. As you can see, the marker does bleed just a little bit when the water touches it. It doesn't bother me. I think it looks pretty cool actually. So I'm giving this cool tint to my mountains in the background. So if you get too much water on your paper, you can see some of it right here in this area. Don't worry about it. Just try not to let your paper move too much because you can see that the water molecules, they cling together. They really hold tight to each other, which is why you can kind of move them in the direction you want them to go. You've got, know where they can go, and make sure that they're not going to cross in. If you do it too forcefully, they'll cross into your cacti. Right, so I'm going to keep this going over here. That looks good. Just gonna sneak into here. I'm just using the tip of my brush to sneak into here and get some of these little pockets. And I'm going along my horizon line. Remember that fold we made in the very beginning? I'm going along that horizon line with my brush to put in those mountains. And again, I'm using cool colors for the mountain range. All right, looks pretty good. If you get a little too low in some areas, don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. We will make mistakes. Remember, this is just one iteration of many. So we will make mistakes, we'll learn from them, and we'll just make another iteration the next time. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put in the floor for the ground or the floor of my desert. I want to have some brown, but I still want that tint that I don't want it to be such a warm tint. So I'm combining a little bit of this reddish orange color with a little bit of this kind of fuchsia color, okay? So I want it to take on that cool color, and I'm gonna start close to the big open wide area of this V. Remember, this was a V that starts down here and goes wide. So I'm gonna start close to the wide area. Because it's away from me, the color is not going to be as vibrant as if it was right here by the road. Now it is pretty warm in my opinion, so when I do it again, I'm gonna just mix in a little bit of blue with, there we go, getting some of that brown. When you mix complementary colors, you get kind of a dull brownish color. Putting that in over here because it's kind of far away. I do have a rock right here, so I'll go around the rock with my paintbrush. I'm really taking my time. I'm not in a hurry, and you should not be in a hurry either. You can always put this in a safe place, let it dry, come back to it later. For those of you who are working at home, who are virtual. Here we go. So that's gonna be farther away. And that really got that warm, that cool feeling to it. Taking this kind of orangish red, and then I'm putting a little bit of the complementary color blue with it, really, lessened the warmth in it. Plus it gave it that good kind of brown color. But see how now it's kind of like a gray that has a blue tint to it. So that's good. That's what we want. I'm going to work that in here because those are all off in the distance. You will see that your watercolors bleed a little bit. That is the water molecules touching each other. They're not dry yet, so they will spread. Water molecules love each other, and that's why they hold on so tightly to each other. So I'm going to go back to this earthy color. I'm gonna lay some of that in here. It might be too warm we will see. I'm gonna try my road. Ooh, look how that color bleeds. Do you see how it's bleeding down? It's pretty cool. All right, I'm gonna go really light with this purple right here. It's kind of it's a purple that's closer to a dark blue, and I like it, but I really want to go over some of these plants with a green color pencil on top. So I'm keeping this color really light right here. Gonna mix in a little bit of blue.